Charles Krauthammer has been one of Donald Trump's fiercest critics from the beginning, but he broke with much of the journalistic pack in the case of Michael Flynn.
This is a cover-up without a crime. The idea that one should be all aghast because the incoming national security advisor spoke with the Russian ambassador and spoke about sanctions seems to me to be perfectly reasonable. The idea that it was illegal is preposterous.
Still, after Flynn was fired, it was a bit surprising to see the president himself invoking our colleague.
And in all fairness, I watched Dr. Charles Krauthammer the other night say he was doing his job. And I agreed with him.
So it seemed like a good time to call in the syndicated columnist and Fox News contributor. Charles Krauthammer, welcome.
My pleasure.
Well, hell hath frozen over. How did you feel, you who've been such a fierce Trump critic, when first Kellyanne Conway and then Sean Spicer and then the president quoted you favorably?
Well, I was amused, but I was particularly gratified when Trump referred to me as Dr. Charles Krauthammer. When I left medicine to be a journalist, my dad was supportive but skeptical. A few years in, I did my first TV appearance. I go on Nightline, I come home around midnight, phone rings, it's my dad. Say, you were great on Nightline, but why did you let him call you Mr.?
All right.
So it's vindicated.
So the president paid you that respect, but didn't he also selectively quote part of your argument about the Michael Flynn case? You said it was fine to be aghast at Flynn's contacts with Russia. You just didn't believe it is in any way illegal.
No, I went beyond that. I thought it was perfectly normal, perfectly reasonable. The case I made, and it was in my Washington Post column this morning, is that he's the national security advisor. He's coming into office. There are 3 weeks to go. I would expect him to have contacts with ambassadors of every sort. The Logan Act, which is, you know, private citizens are not supposed to deal with foreign ambassadors.
1799.
You know, nobody's ever been prosecuted.
Yeah.
So he was doing his job. It wasn't just that it was not illegal. It was perfectly reasonable. But my question is, if it was, then why does he lie about it?
Okay.
This is the case of the cover-up in search of a crime.
Now, President Trump, in the campaign, with me, often brought you up. Let's remind people of some of the things that the candidate said.
I think Krauthammer is just absolutely a disgrace when it comes to me. Don't forget, he was a big war hawk, going to Iraq. I mean, he was wrong on so many subjects. It wouldn't matter if I were Abe Lincoln doing the debate. Krauthammer will say negative.
So you were rough on him. He was rough on you. Maybe now you're thinking he's not so bad?
No. Look, it's very simple. I call him like I see him. I had a view of Trump when he was campaigning. I don't make any secret of the fact that I didn't think he should have been president. But that doesn't matter on the day he's sworn in. He is president. At this point, whatever I thought about his ascendance is irrelevant. I want the country to succeed. I want him to succeed. I'm a patriotic American. And I simply call him like I see him. Some things he'll do right, some things he'll do wrong. And it will not change my opinion of him. He can flatter me, praise me all he wants. It will not change a bit.
All right. So
I would like him to, but it won't alter what I say.
Now, as a conservative, you also often said, and probably continue to say, that Trump didn't really come into this election with a conservative agenda. I mean, here he is pushing $1 billion infrastructure program, a little more moderate approach to replacing Obamacare. Have you changed your mind about his credentials on that score, or is he redefining conservatism?
Well, the answer to that will be given by history. If he has a successful presidency, he will redefine conservatism. Well, he'll certainly redefine the Republican Party. Reagan came into a party that was fairly, it was sort of right of center. He turned it into a conservative party. He turned conservatism into the ascendant ideology of the country for 30 years. Obama, incidentally, had the ambition to do the same thing for liberalism, but he failed. So it'll depend on what happens with Trump. How does the economy do? How did the jobs issue work? And is the country stronger when he leaves?
The media have been describing these first 4 weeks as chaotic. Trump actually brought this up at the news conference and kind of made fun of it. Do you think it has been chaotic, and is that what you expected of Donald Trump?
I didn't know what to expect because the man is sui generis. But of course it's chaotic. And the leaks about the chaos are coming from his own people inside his own White House. This isn't stuff coming out of a leak from inside the NSA. People are obviously talking to the press about the chaos inside. He's lost his national security advisor. He offers it to somebody else who turns him down. That's pretty unusual. It's a very important job. There's conflict between the cabinet and the White House, within the White House. And I think one of the reasons that...
So let me just jump in here. In 20 seconds, do you think that the press portrayal of an administration in chaos is largely on target?
Yes.
You give me a short answer.
I'm leaving you hanging with 17 seconds of dead air time. I want to see how you handle it.
All right, well, we'll have to watch your special report to see what else you have to say. Charles Krauthammer, great to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for the extra time. And I meant, of course, President Trump's $1 trillion infrastructure plan.